There it goes. Now it's recording. I had to press it harder. Now it's recording. Alright, I'm going to pull some worms today if I can get these dogs to quit barking long enough. Denise Larceny, Buttermilk Rose, Pennsylvania, Georgia. She wants 3 half pounds, which would be 1.5 pounds. Okay. Here's the instructions and the label. Alright. I am going to start off. Like I said, she wants 1.5 pounds. Ooh, lots of worms. Get this out of the way. I use that magnifying glass sometimes to see, tell the difference between the actual eggs and the worms. I'm looking down through here because there's a lot of worms in here, and there's quite a few eggs. And I kind of screw myself when I give. I might have to pull out of the other box. Oh, there's a bunch right there. Try to get as many in one general. There we go. Now we're talking. This right here is a good indication of. You see the eggs right there. If you look real hard, you see the eggs. Anyway, there's quite a few worms there. That right there is probably about 1/4 to 1/2 pound. And again, I'll pull some more. I might not screen these. Not really in a big hurry, but these that have only been in there about a week, and I had already gone through them outside, so I've got most of the eggs out of them already. It should be about 1 pound there. You see, I am putting some dirt in there, but I also compensate for it too. Lots of babies in there, which is good, I think. Because what happens is they acclimate a little bit better when you have the babies in there. I'm throwing out a few of these, what they call sow bugs. There's nothing wrong with them. Actually, they're beneficial. They eat a lot of what the worms don't eat. Ooh, almost 1.5 pounds. I'll be right back. I'm going to go get some worm dirt, some actual peat moss to put those in. I should have had this already set aside. Now this is just peat moss. It was soaking wet, so I pulled it and squeezed it real good. So really the only thing left in there is peat moss. Alright. For every pound of worms you put about 1 pound of peat moss in there. I'll squeeze them again because I was in a hurry. I should have already had them pulled. Put too much water in there, they'll boil. So, get just, like I said, you squeeze them really good. How do I know how much to put in there? Well, I've done this a few times. Now, I'm going to send these out like they are. And like I said, I think that a person gets a better deal. You get a few mixture of, when I say small worms, oh, there's a lot of eggs in there. I don't sell bedroom worms anymore for the simple reason that too many people just don't appreciate what they call bedroom worms, which is a mixture of eggs, babies, and all. Okay. And the problem is too many people can't see the actual worms in there, so they think they're getting ripped. You know, I mean, it's hard to tell somebody that an egg has 20 or 30 babies in it. you know. So now some days I'll take this screen and I'll do what I'm just fixing to do right here, and I'll take, see that big old wad of worms there, and I'll just screen them out a little bit. Now she's almost got a pound and a half, 2 pounds of worms in there, so I'm going to screen out to make sure that she feels like she didn't get ripped. And I'm going to screen out some more worms here. And of course, you're going to get a little bit of dirt with a little bit of worms, but I think it's beneficial because you actually get a little bit of eggs, which in each egg you might get 5, 20 worms. It's hard to say. It depends on the worms, and how well they breed, and how well they eat, and temperature. And I think I've got more than enough here. I think that's about a pound of worms, and I only need to give her a few more. That was on 0.38 or 1.38 a minute ago, so all I really need is 14, about a quarter of a pound or less. It's 34, that's 68. Yeah, that's more than a pound and a half. And closer to a pound and 3/4. And that way, like I said, she's happy, I'm happy, everybody's happy. Now, put a drop of food in there. Don't need to, but we can. Just a little bit, not much. Just enough to keep them halfway happy. They're not going far. Most of the worms I send out primarily go to the Georgia region. Knoxville, Tennessee, Chattanooga, a few places like that. And I think a lot of the reason is people want to order them as close as they can to where they live. And it saves in. See, I tie it to bow ties, so it's a lot easier to untie it too. Anyway, there you have about, I want to say now if I'm right, it should be a pound and a half, should be 3 pounds. 2.83. Okay. That's close enough. 2.83. Now there's a pound and a half, actually more than a pound and a half of worms in there, so she should be happy. I try. I mean, come on, what does a half pound of worms cost me? You know, so I'm better off making sure people are happy rather than trying to rip them. Well, that makes no sense. You know, repeat customers, whatever you want to call it, word of mouth. There's no sense burning your own bridges. People don't do that enough as it is. You're going to have a few unhappy customers. You're going to have a few people that play stupid games and they can't really afford to raise worms to begin with, so they try to get over on you. You know, I've had my share of those. But hey, if they need them that bad, then they really are hurting, and they really do need them. You know. There's still a few of them left in here. It's not that I'm that worried about 1 or 2 worms. I really don't want to block the screen holes. It's the biggest part of it. See, there's a baby. I guess, there's another. I guess a lot of those babies are about 1 inch long, which, that's not too bad. They'll grow from that 1 inch. They'll grow to 2 or 3 inches within 30 days. That pretty much sums that up. Like I said, that's my screen. Now I'm using, on this particular screen here, I'm using 1/4 inch screen, and that gets the majority of eggs and everything else to drop out inside here. Temperature here is right at 72 degrees, which is pretty good. Been getting a little cold at night, so I may have to put the heater on. These right here are the pull bins. These are the ones that I use when I go to pull for people that are wanting to order. I keep them stocked pretty much, and when they start running low, I go out to my worm bins that I actually raised them in, and I get a few more worms, primarily 10, 15, 20,000 at label just doesn't want to stay put. Okay. This should be right. I'm double checking to make sure I don't screw nobody up. Okay, and she's got the instructions. And I'll even put a business card in there. So I just happen to have one in my pocket. See the business card? Herron Farms. I'm going to drop that in there. They're pretty little cards. And again, I'm going to pick this label up because it just does not want to cooperate. Seal up the tunnel. I'm going to have to grab my tape and put the label on it. I'm going to put this label on before there's a tape in there. This thing is so irritating. I've never met one of these things that I like yet. My wife just rips the tape off and uses it like that, but occasionally it cooperates. Okay, there's two. I'll set that right there and hope it doesn't fall. Okay, we're going to put the label on for Denise Larcy. And I'm not going to say a whole lot more because it might not even be her real name. Well, we wouldn't want people calling her up and saying, "Are you raising redworms?" I like it. I think it's a lot of fun. It's enjoyable. It's kind of a hobby, kind of a sport. A little bit of several things all wrapped in one. That right there is now ready to go. Turn off the scales. Turn off the camera.